So what I like to talk about, and that's why I needed a whiteboard, that's why we switched rooms, is entrepreneurship. And not just simply what it entails, that too, but also what kind of support do you need from an ecosystem? What kind of support exists in this area around that people know of? And kind of open the board up to, okay, this is an organization that does all these things, or there's this meetup group that meets every X amount of days and talks about these things. There are these folks that are willing to help you out if you have an idea, or if you have funds that you want to invest in, all that kind of stuff, all that kind of jazz. So let me start it off by kind of asking this question, right? So first of all, how many folks here have either had a startup before or are currently in startup? Okay. How many people want to go down that route in the future? Awesome. Cool. So I'm part of the second crowd, right? But I also am the event management chair for an organization called TIE Seattle. TIE stands for Talent, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. It's a global nonprofit. And I'm sorry? TIE. It's Talent, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. I'll put the link up shortly. But the aim is to bring together entrepreneurs of various local communities and merge them, either, first of all, get them together locally to see what they need, what they don't, etc., hold events, networking sessions, etc., and also then to tie them into a global network, which is the TIE Global Network, to see if they need help from Silicon Valley, or they need to start up an operation in Bombay or Hyderabad, so there are support groups there for TIE, etc. So that's the reason why I kind of wanted to bring this up. So my question here is, what do you need to be an entrepreneur here? What do you need from an organization? What do you need from a group like this? Right? And so I'll open up, like, for example, you need an ecosystem of peers, right? You need a way to get to your peers, to people who are thinking like you are, who are in a startup mode, or are thinking of getting out of a 9-to-5 mentality and thinking of doing their own thing. You need their feedback, their experiences, what have they learned from their failures or their successes that you can kind of leverage, right? The floor is open. What else do you think you need from an organization or a group of folks coming together to help entrepreneurs?
Accounting advice.
I'm sorry?
Accounting advice.
Okay, so what you need is logistics. Or what do you need, like legal, accounts, how to start off your business, how to register your business, what to check for in the patent office to see that the idea that you have is actually not out there already. Sorry, you were saying?
Money.
All right, so you need access. Cool. So you need access to capital.
Yeah.
Right. So you need access to VCs. You need access to angel investors, individual contributors, and before all of that, you need success stories of people who have got through without access to all these three. Right. You need access to folks who've gone to their family, their friends, how they've gotten people to kind of come in on equity, the equity versus the cash or whatever ratio that you're going for. So you need access to capital. What else?
Intelligence. You need smart people.
You need smart people. So you need access to potential. Exactly. So you need access to potential. Pardon my spelling. Partners or employees. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So you need smart people in the field that you're looking for. And you need a way to find them. What else?
A good idea.
You need a good idea. Let's start off assuming that someone does have a good idea. So it's a totally separate thing as to how you get inspired to get a good idea, the research, etc. You're right. You need a good idea. We're going to assume that to be an axiom for the purpose of this discussion, I guess. So covers most of what I had there. But just one more thing. Sometimes you need training.
Say you need faith. It takes a lot of faith to do this.
I'm going to put this up in the cloud.
Art talks.
Faith. an idea.
Need customers.
You need customers, so you need, so that's combining not logistic, but that's combining training. What I mean by training is you need a way for someone to say, okay, this is the vanilla path that you take when you want to start off a company. You start off from here, you form a company like this, you talk to these folks, you do market analysis, you do these steps, right? What does it take to take a great idea that is in your head, right, and have it actually influence the world, or influence the section of the world that you want it to influence? Sorry.
So on the legal side, I bought this book off Amazon. It's written by a Harvard Business School professor. It's called The Entrepreneur's Guide to Business Law.
It's available to the first bidder.
Oh, no, it's not available.
Anyone. I get a cut, by the way. It's referral fees.
No, but I suggest, like, it has little tidbits on it, like what to take into account at different spots of the legal process from leaving a company to if you want to get acquired or get an IPO.
Can you say the title of the book again?
Yeah, and there's actually a new edition coming out in a month. So
What's the author's name?
author is Bagley and Dauchy. And Dauchy's Dauchui.
Okay, search for this on Amazon. If you don't find it, come find me. And there's also a book out there I saw from O'Reilly, Innovation, or yes, Myths of Innovation. And that's how I haven't read through it. I have no idea what it talks about exactly, but reminds me of a statement that a very successful entrepreneur once made. Chances are that the idea that you have has already been thought out, has already been implemented, has already failed, more like in double digits, not in single digits. The question is, how do you act? How do you execute on this idea? How do you make sure that people buy into the fact that this idea is actually a great idea? So that should bust a lot of myths as to how you take a good idea and kind of take it to fruition. And the last thing that I had, so training was effectively this kind of roadmap. What kind of roadmap would you want to follow? And kind of going on this point here, you also need access to potential employers. So you want to get into the startup mode, right? But you don't want to, you have an idea, but you're not very sure of it. You want to tag along on someone else's idea and give your hard work and your sweat and blood to it, right? So the ecosystem should provide you with access to potential employers also, right? Anything else?
I don't see plan anywhere. Plan.
Sorry, training plus plan. In terms of what's the plain vanilla part? That's like the MBA of business. Right? This is what you need to know at a slightly basic level, but then it's all up to you after that.
I would argue that a good business plan is not necessarily vanilla, because that can make a difference between a good startup. It's not how you write it, it's what it is also very critical. I don't know, probably come, I think it's...
What it is, by that you don't mean idea.
No,
right?
it's how you choose to go ahead with that idea is very critical. I don't think it can be considered, you should not, I think considering vanilla would be a little risky, because then anybody with an idea can fill up a template, but that's not work.
True, I'll give you that. When I say vanilla, I mean, this is something you need to know, but then it's up to you to sell it, because everyone knows this. But if you don't have the basic level of information, you need to know what a plus sign does and a minus sign does, but then what proof you take out of it in the future is up to you.
What was the employers put on there for?
The employers is if you want to be in startup mode, right? But you don't have a great idea, or you have other things going on with you, but you want to get into a small company mode where you're wearing multiple hats and you're doing all this. You should be able to go to an organization or a group of people and say, okay, I'm a potential employee, and I'm looking for potential employers of me. Like if you have a great idea and you're looking for talent, I'm willing to work for you, kind of thing.
So they can go elsewhere after that?
Well, they don't have an idea to go to. Right? I agree this is a minor point, right? Yes?
I assume the two don't really go together that well.
Okay. So anything else? What else would you need from a group like this? As people who have started off companies, or as people who are doing this?
Luck?
I'm going to put that in the cloud. Unless you're talking about faith, the support groups and faith kind of things.
I think it's up there, but maybe more specifically, I know one thing that I need often is people who are more, that understand technology, because I'm not a coder. I know applications and I know what I want it to do in the end, and I'm finding a lot of pre-written applications that I can piggyback off of and easily implement and just tweak to make it fit my model. But I guess what I need is a group of people that go, okay, I get what you're trying to do, and this is only going to get you so far. You really are going down the bad road using this. So
Okay.
I don't know the right
I'm
words to
gonna
explain.
I'm gonna bucket that into an ecosystem of your peers
I
who've
think
gone
so.
through that,
Yeah.
plus potential partners or employees who would work for you for your idea, who buy into your idea. All right, cool.
I think mentor systems, because very often, yeah.
Yes, and that as is going to be
What
mentoring.
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 Somebody who's done it 10 times.
Yes.
Yes.
There's people that have
Yes.
failed.
Yeah.
And
well,
failed once
it's
to 10
time.
times.
Yeah, where do you?
9.
Right.
I just find those people at mind camp.
Access to peers
Peers.
is great, but having some structured way to get feedback would be beautiful.
Mhm.
And that kind of feeds into mentoring.
Yeah, mentoring plus I would put it as planned events, like business plan, idea contests, or stuff like that. So events like focused or directed events. Right. When I say ecosystem of peers, I include networking, maybe news groups, blogs, mailing lists, right? All that kind of jazz. Cool. All right, so now that we know what we are looking for in a group like this, let's take a look at what venues exist currently in the Northwest area, right? I'm going to start off with a shameless plug of Thai Seattle. That has all of these. It has a mentorship program. It has events, about 5, 6, 7 events every year. Some of them member only, some of them special interest, some of them of a global scale. It has a training plan. It has access to employers, employees, etc. Logistics training using special interest groups. You come together and say, what are the legal aspects of starting a business? And we'll have a 2-hour session on that.
Is this Thai Seattle?
Yes.
Guy-
Yes, so it's going to be seattle.thai.org. Right? But again,
What does Thai stand for, if anything?
Thai now stands for Talent, Ideas, and Entrepreneurship. It started off in the South Asian community in Silicon Valley, and originally stood for the Indus entrepreneurs, so the Indus region entrepreneurs, but it's exploded in scope a lot. But this is just one. Right? We have a bunch of others. I'm going to put down a couple more that I know of, but I need you guys to tell me more. There's NWEN, the Northwest Entrepreneur Network. There is NET IP. And then there are specific forums like the MIT TEF Entrepreneur Forum. There's Harvard, there's a forum from Harvard also, right? But yeah, do you guys know of any other groups around here?
What about informal forums like Open Coffee?
Right, so that was going to be my next section, which is user groups that come together like MindCamp,
Yeah.
right? This is great. Ignite is another great forum of,
Well, Biznic. I don't know if you
Biz-
do all these things, but
yeah.
Business group.
So I'm going to assume people know about MindCamp. Ignite, what did you say?
Biznic.
BIZNIK, what do they do?
I don't know.
It's
This
more
kind of
like
stuff. I don't know.
more focused towards entrepreneurship and business.
Okay,
I haven't gone there, I'm just guessing.
okay. No, that's fine. Ignite,
It offers some of the ecosystem of peers and quite a bit of training, some mentoring, but yeah, it's kind of self-promotion.
okay. Is it a local thing or is it?
It started local.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, okay. And do they meet on a regular basis or do they have a calendar of
Different
events?
groups decide who wants to meet.
Okay,
We just did a conference a couple of weeks ago. That day entrepreneurial conference over at Johnstown in Los Angeles.
Okay, very cool. All right, so Biznik is good. Sorry?
Open coffee.
Open coffee. Could you speak a little bit more about it?
Something Andy Sack started, I think.
Yeah. They meet in a coffee house on like
Tuesday mornings on West Lake.
Yeah. So
There's Seattle Tech Startup.
Exactly, monthly meetups.
Not so much monthly recently, but it's. Yeah.
Okay, Tuesday mornings.
There's the Lunch 2.0.
Sorry? Lunch 2.0, yeah. I'm gonna take this here. All right, so what's the idea behind Lunch 2.0?
it's more about techies getting together than entrepreneurial stuff like.
But is it just one lunch, or is it Lunch 2.0 with like 7 different focus areas that you can meet?
Every month you'll meet at a place and like.
So yeah,
we'll talk about.
companies buy you lunch, and then everybody goes over there, and there's a few presentations.
Yeah, the training part will be covered.
It's essentially just social networking, though. I mean,
So what does a Lunch 2.0 session consist of? Let's look at that.
Couple of talks and projects networking.
Okay, cool. All right, so Seattle Tech Startup, sorry, let me put that up. Has anyone been to one of their sessions?
Yeah.
Okay, could you speak as to what this entails? From what I know, it's
varied and it's kind of changed a little bit over time. Sometimes it's just open, whatever everyone wants to talk to. It's oriented, it's a mixture of entrepreneurial and tech. Sometimes they have presenters. One time they have like 5 people just talk about their projects. So it's pretty good.
right. So the last one I went to, I think in May or beginning of June, was there were about 6 or 7 presenters who got 10 minutes each to present their idea out. Startup ideas ranging from games for kids to starting off financial services in India, right? And immediately after the talk, the group that sits there is a lot of interested folks who have done their own startups or in the middle of doing their own startup, plus a dedicated panel of 3 or 4 people that are invited by the people who organize Seattle Tech startups to kind of give you feedback on your idea, where the holes are that they see in it. So it's live feedback on your idea right there. It's a non-NDA zone, if you don't, same as Mindcamp, in fact. That's the last one I'd seen, but yeah.
The last one is been.
Okay, all right, cool. So this is one, and this was started off by the same folks that did Bill Monk, if people know what Bill Monk is. Apparently not, okay.
I do. Yeah.
Seattle Tech Startups meets every month, apparently every month, in the Seattle Public Library in Cap Hill. All right. What else? There are several meetup.com groups that meet on an informal basis, although I don't know how much structure they have around their meetings. Right. Any other groups that you guys know meet up or are there online?
I did just like online, not necessarily meeting up. It's like startupping.com.
All right.
No,
What is it?
Startupping.
Startupping.
Yeah.
Startupping, yes.
Startupping?
Startup Nation has some pretty good
And of course,
information.
most of these groups are Facebook groups, so like.
Oh yeah, there's lots of Facebook, like
Yeah.
Web 2.0 entrepreneurs on Facebook. And
Yeah.
But are they-
Seattle Tech Startups, it has a Facebook group.
So Startuppings, I just want to kind of close on this. What does it do?
I don't
Is it
remember.
this? Okay.
there's I haven't been to it for a couple months. I don't remember.
Okay.
Just started. So.
Okay. So all these groups go for a subset or the complete package here, right? And one question I had was, you guys have been to one or more of these groups, or you would intend to go, etc. What have you found missing, right? What is something that you would like to see more of, more involvement in, or more help towards? Like, what are the biggest pain that you have? Not money. So access to capital. What you need is, sorry. Lawyers. Okay. So I'm gonna actually put stars around this access to capital. And logistics. Lawyers are a pain. Okay. What else? So in terms of access to capital, what's the, is it getting to the people who will give you the capital, or is it convincing them once you met them?
I'd say the fundamental problem of not access to capital is not getting money, it's that having the time to do what you want to do. If you have the capital, you can then pay yourself or pay your mortgage so you can do what you want to do. But if you don't have the capital, you have to continue doing your day job, and so you only work on your entrepreneurship at night, where you don't necessarily have much time. So it's really not, it doesn't seem to me like it's a capital problem as much as it is just a time problem.
Okay. So you're saying to start things up, you don't need access to capital, you just need time for yourself and
Also a
to get
scaling
engaged.
problem. You
Yeah.
could, with something,
Right.
you could, let's say you have enough money to start something off by yourself, but say it goes beyond that, you need to hire somebody else to do it. That usually requires some moolah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So once you're beyond the
It's more
point
than pay
of
for somebody else's time though.
Yeah.
so once you're beyond the point of getting your idea, getting a plan together, maybe, right? You've got some mentoring on how do you proceed. You got it off the ground. Then you want to scale. That's when you do need access to capital at some point of time. So okay. Now in terms of logistics, right? So these two are definitely covered by a lot of these organizations. They have support groups. They have people you can mail out and say, hey, this is a problem I have. If you're a member of the organization, they reply back saying, connect you with some folks, etc. In terms of, so again, people who have started things, what other support would you need beyond this? Say you have the great idea, you have everything in this cloud, right? What other ground support do you need? Space, okay. Kind of goes into access to capital. If you have the money, you can go get the space.
I think,
Yeah.
somebody said incubate, I think. the
Yeah,
white
incubator would be cool.
Okay, so mentoring, it goes into mentoring, but you're talking about not just mentoring in terms of, more focused mentoring, more bought-in mentoring in an incubator, okay.
Are you looking for something? Or?
No, this is an open forum. This is totally an open forum. My goal was to get these things on the board. That is my goal. I think my goal is achieved. People can hang out and talk. I'm fine with that too.
Anyone know of a good co-working environment where there's you can rent a desk someplace and just go somewhere and be around other people who are doing it?
There are a few
A coffee shop?
places-
Well,
If you
I
want,
haven't found the right coffee shop.
if you want like an actual desk, there's a few buildings that have floors that you can literally like rent a desk for a day.
I'm looking more for like, I mean.
Kind of co-op maybe.
Yeah, a co-op or something like that. I mean,
We found a place like that, and we co-op with other entrepreneurs, and it's just, you find some, there's not a few of them, but if you search for spaces that'll lease month to month, you can take like a bigger space than you need. So ours has a conference room, a reception area, and then 4 or 5 offices, and we'd only needed 3. So we found a couple other entrepreneurs that wanted a couple offices, and then we shared out the cost of the whole space, and that works really well. For getting started, because we made really bad mistakes before. In fact, buried ourselves with too big of leases in the past. We just searched for any office buildings that do a month-to-month lease.
Are there a lot of office buildings that do month-to-month lease? Or is it like few and far between?
Well, we found a couple, just within that area we're looking at, and I didn't look outside of there,
Oh, what area was it?
in Bellevue.
Bellevue? Cool.
I think it depends on the area too.
So,
Yeah, there's gonna be some areas that are gonna have a lot of open offices, and they're not, bringing in any money. A month to month is,
yeah, there's, I don't know how reasonable it is, but I've noticed a lot of, don't mean to step on any toes or anything, but I've noticed a lot of, like, mortgage companies have a lot of extra space, maybe talking to them about leasing some space from them or something. I know, I just think it just happens. People kind of overexpand sometimes, and then they're stuck with a long lease, and they're happy to rent out. And then you already have you know, your phone systems you can tag onto, and copiers, and all of the
Right.
different.
I think
That'll kill you, honestly.
It seems to me being in, like, if you're gonna co-op some space, it'd be better for tech startups to co-op together.
For
'Cause
sure, yeah, try to think industry-wise, and because you'll have a lot of the same needs, and so sharing those costs, I think that's a huge.
I think you build your own ecosystem if you
Oh,
had
this
an
is
office
cool.
of
Yeah.
5 startups.
I think
Totally.
that'd be awesome.
This is a cool idea.
Maybe you could approach even some leasing agents and say, we have an idea, you know, we could help find people to fill the space.
Here's some money to sell.
You know, there's a lot of empty spaces out there.
This is cool. So basically, we are talking about how can an organization build up common infrastructure, things like this. Like, okay, there's a co-op space here with this many benches, right? And we can give it to you as members. Like, you know, we have 2 benches for you, 2 benches for you, 2 benches for you that you can actually use as office space, and this much is how much you pay. Cool idea. The other thing is, I just thought of it, was prototyping resources. How many people have heard of or used ELANs? Okay, so ELANs is, you do? You have, okay. So ELANs is an interesting thing. What you do is you go onto ELANs, there's a bunch of developers all across the world. You submit your requirement saying, this is what I want, and this is what I want prototype. Like, this is the website, this is how it should look, this is what I'm looking for. And then developers there submit their prototypes to you at no charge. And you pick which one do you like, and they can develop it for you. They'll charge you an hourly rate or whatever, right? But it works out to be a lot cheaper. You see the product right there, your prototype right there. This is how it's going to look like. And in the long run, it works out a lot cheaper when you're prototyping things. In fact, I've known people to use it for bigger projects also. And it's, in fact, you just go check it out, elans.com.
What's the depth of the prototype though?
It could be whatever.
It's going to be, you know, you're just going to get a page that has everything static on it.
It's between you and the person,
Yeah.
effectively.
Okay.
And they have ratings of trust and everything also, so it's like experts exchange, but not just answers, they're actually development work being done. So elans.com, there are a couple others that follow this format.
Guru.com.
Google.com?
Guru.
Oh, okay. I'll see one right. The answer to everything, apparently. Right? Okay.
Coder.com.
Sorry?
Coder.com.
You'll have to repeat that, sorry.
Rent-A-hyphen.
Oh, got it. Rentacoder.com. Okay.
But again, there are quality issues out there. I have heard horror stories of people losing money, hiring somebody somewhere, and like are not doing a good job.
I've got something about using like outsourced development. It's for just a few $1,000s. This postercrime.com has an amazingly functional and good-looking website for really cheap.
What is it again?
So, it's just like starts on my
Right.
Facebook, but it's postercrime.com, and it's I couldn't believe the quality of what they got for
Yeah.
or what
And where
we
they
got.
get it? What did you say?
Oh, that was outsourced to the company in the Ukraine.
If you're lucky, like you'll get.
Yeah.
And Elance has not just individual developers, they have companies like Ukraine and other places that have their people on Elance and other sites like this that'll bid on your question or your request. Right? And this is a good way to do it. A couple of other resources, I'm going to plug Amazon a bit, but feel free to either throw things at me or suggest alternatives. Amazon came out with EC2 and S3 a while back as utility computing platforms. Effectively, they are extremely cheap and scalable hosting solution, EC2, Elastic Computing Cloud, and a very simple storage solutions called Simple Storage Solution, S3, where you just do puts and gets, and your information is available across the world. And it's significant, and this is all available through web services. The management interface to your EC2 boxes, as well as your data in S3. Very simple interfaces, web services. You can build it into your web apps. It's there to use, and it's ridiculously cheap, from what I've understood.
There's no uptime guarantee on it though.
Yeah.
So like S3 went down for That's for a little, I don't remember.
There's no
exactly.
SLA, so you can't get your business on
Yeah.
that.
It's a reasonable backup solution, I feel like, but not really something you want to build your
For a
platform.
startup who wants to get the idea out and running, I don't think that's such
Okay,
a big
I'll
deal.
buy
That's,
it.
that's how I mean. It might not
If you
be.
talk to some successful startups that have used it, like SmugMug is used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they use it as
But they
backup.
have used it as a backup, not.
No, they don't use it as a backup. They
Yeah.
do have a backup that's not S3, but it serves their data. So they keep a backup of their data. But even that, I saw like when one of the founders talked about it a couple months ago. I'm not sure they even back up all their stuff anymore. I think they're.
He's talking about not S3, but the other company. They don't back up their stuff. They actually directly use S3
Yeah,
instead.
yeah.
And what I would like to say from our perspective, right, from Amazon's perspective, is we use S3 internally for our production systems,
Okay.
right? Availability is not that bad.
Yeah, I agree.
It's actually fantastic as compared to other solutions also because it's built on the same systems that we use internally. But again, you might not want to base your production level already money generating system on it. But to get an idea out quickly and cheaply, that's what this is about. Right? But yeah, I mean, other resources that you think are there existing outside for startups to use, feel free to share it. Something that would make your development work cheap or easy to do in the short term.
I know one's coming, but it's not NDA free yet.
Yes, we need to keep it NDA free.
Google Apps for your domain is really nice. They do email collaboration under your domain name, really nice.
Yep.
Free as well.
It is provided you want to keep your stuff on Google servers.
Yeah.
There's some, okay, this is, okay, scrape the bottom barrel, but there's some, I forget the name of it, there's a business card company that'll send you free business cards.
Vista.
Vistaprint.
There are a lot of them.
They-
They have something in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has an app for themselves.
Yes, all you do is you have someone hired really cheap with a whiter.
Send the box to India. They put their own ad on the back, just like Vista.com or something.
Right. Yeah, so Vistaprint is interesting, yeah. What about school affiliations, right? So people who come out from...
So I was, yeah, like getting interns it's dirt cheap work. Where if you have a developer, you're going to be paying him roughly, with all the costs associated with it, $75 to $150 an hour.
Right.
And that's for like a mid-level programmer. If you can get an intern for $15 to $20 an hour with everything, which is awesome. You can find a lot of smart kids, but you basically have to be, I don't want to say in bed, but you have to be really in cahoots with your old professors from school because they can give you the kids that are the best. So you can so before the summer comes, you can just go in there and say, if you want to start a business with cheap labor, go like 3 months before summer and talk to the professor and say, I want an intern this summer, and here's what we're gonna do, and he'll say, awesome, I got a perfect kid for you. And then you come over, you pay the kid almost nothing, give him a room, some food, and
Some ramen because he's used to it already.
Yes! Ramen. So I'm going to list down ramen as a resource.
if he's lucky and underage, you can give him beer and he'll be really happy too.
Plus beer. And for context, it'll be for interns only.
I think you have to figure out
Whiskey will be too much.
the quality of the work that they do,
Yeah.
unless you're really overseeing.
Yeah.
Right.
It definitely takes a lot of.
That's a caveat to
You're-
it.
Yeah, totally. It's definitely like if you're doing that, you also have to be a coder yourself and doing like a lot of the higher level engineering and then have him kind of doing some low level stuff. And then he'll learn interns learn ungodly fast. So like you throw a pile of work at him, he gets it done, and then you give him like the next higher level up of work. And you can be doing the whole art. You can be the engineering department in like 4 weeks.
There you go.
Also senior projects, because you can send a lot of CS departments have senior projects. So I'm sending, like I went to University of Idaho, so I'm sending this year I'm going to send a senior project from the company that I work for. We're going to send something down there for them to do for free. Like I'll be there and I'll tell them what we want. I'll be their customer.
Right.
And that's completely free, except for my time.
Right.
And you can do it not only with coding stuff, but you can also do it with like design work and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Sometimes you wind up with really lousy marketing or design, but you can wind up with some good stuff.
Mhm.
Cool.
And can you also use mechanical Turk, right, like for
True.
jobs?
Let him finish out
Yeah.
everything.
I'm gonna remove ramen. Mtech.com. Do you want to talk a bit more about?
Probably
No, I like to hear what people would know about it, I guess.
I use it, I just read about it.
Okay.
I can't really.
Okay, so MechTurk is interesting, all right? And again, Amazon plug coming, but MechTurk is a way to get things that require seem to require human interaction, like looking at a pair of photos and seeing which one has gray or not, right? Or which one correctly maps to this particular storefront's photo. Which of these two photos should represent the
Tag your
storefront?
photos, like, if you want people to tag your photos, you can just put it up there.
Right. If you want people to tag them in a standard way, just put it out there, and they'll tag them for you. So MechTurk is a way to get the human element into the computer instead of the computer element into the human life part, by outsourcing that as web service calls and farming in responses that people have put in, saying, okay, this, and you take like 3 out of the 4 responses say this, 1 says this, I'm going to take the 3, or more complex algorithms as the space increases.
And another thing you can use, well, I guess with institutions of higher learning, UW Business School, the Entrepreneurship program, has an annual business plan competition.
Yep.
And you can have undergraduates writing your business plan for you, and you go through with them as to what it is. I think so long as you don't have a previously written business plan, you can enter it in the competition. And there's prize money that the undergraduates get for, yay, look, we did something good if they win. Yeah.
You might as well get VC financing from that.
Yeah, you can,
Yep.
there's
I
a bunch of
had a friend
investors.
that went through that and he got VC financing. This thing didn't work out, but he got the money.
Yeah.
To start up stuff.
And if you don't get the money, you also get a ton of feedback on your business site.
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
Just
Yeah.
on, you like, you don't even know what to do with it.
What's that?
I was on the team that won the business plan competition this year.
This year? Very cool.
Yeah, it's great for just building connections, all that kind of stuff.
Very cool. Anyone knows of other business plan competitions around this area? So I know TIE Seattle holds an annual one that happened last year in November, December timeframe.
List of national ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but this is again far down, not far down, but down the road when you have a plan, you have a market and everything in place. Is there, like Seattle Tech Startups, I love this because of the immediate feedback you get when you present your idea and people tell you right there, these are the holes you might need to look at. Are there any other forums around that can do that, present it out?
Blogs, like where you can get mentoring from many blogs, right?
But what about live feedback? You present the idea and people can get back to
Like
you.
you interact with the blogger and probably you get live feedback from them, so that's sort of
I see.
similar forum.
Okay, what forum would? Any
There are
suggestions?
many blogs like that, GigaOM recently started phonegrid.com or something like that. And then there are many blogs for startups.
So if you were to go to one blog that you would say, okay, this is a good blog, the people are good at feedback, providing good feedback, criticism and everything.
Because phonegrid.com is not a blog like any other big blog like GigaOM or something. Here in phonegrid.com, CEOs and startup people, they share their not PhoneTrade, PhoneTrade, F-O-U-N-D.
Oh, Foundry.
Yeah.
F-O-U-N-D.
READ. CEOs and the people who just started their startup, they share their experiences. They come and talk to you.
It's not trade, it's READ.
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 Sorry, man. Is that fine?
Yeah. Is there an iPhone or something? No.
I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's part of GigaOM network. So like if you go to gigaom.com.
So basically, on that one, even you can sign up and.
Yeah, you can sign up and you can share your experiences. Basically, it's a interactive for.
Is there a way to see who's giving you feedback and their credentials?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think there is a karma kind of thing like
That people give. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Another blog that is Future Capitalist that don't give feedback on your specific idea, but we'll tell you kind of what venture capitalists are looking for and thinking about, and things to take into account legally is at askthevc.com.
Venture hack or hackers.
Venture.
But there's also something called the founded.
There's a lot of.
There are many blogs out there, like.
Okay. I want to basically get maybe one of each category down at least to see what. So there's VCs here, there's founded where you can get peer kind of feedback or mentor, kind of, not mentoring, but.
Yeah, there are people that post articles like, make sure you don't do work while you're at your day job, because then it will, and they'll tell you a personal experience, they did it and what kind of trouble they got in.
Okay.
That should be fun to read.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'm done, but Jay? Oh, I'm sorry. I am very sorry.
That's good. So somebody mentioned Brentfeld. There's also a program called Techstars, where they took 10 early stage startups, and it's basically like a summer camp. Kind of
Is that
thing.
Paul Grant's?
Y Combinator, Abraham.
Yeah.
Y Combinator.
Yeah, startup school kind of idea.
Techstars.
Techstars.org, I think it is.
Okay. Cool.
Startupschools.com. Startupschool.com.
Well, but techstars.org is another one.
Oh, okay.
So another thing is this. Say you were interested, hey, I want to find out what support exists out there. What I did was I just went to Google and put in entrepreneurial organizations in Seattle, right? And I got this bunch of information. If I wanted a list of these things, I didn't find those immediately there, kind of resources. What would you search?
Sites, but I can't remember it right now, but I definitely have seen sites like that.
That list out what resources. I'm pretty sure they do.
Like, yeah.
I would almost prefer that they don't have those sites, so the entrepreneurs have to come to things like this, where they learn and interact with actual people.
Yeah.
Because this is more pivotal than reading a website. Like if I do this and this and this, I'm gonna I'll have enough knowledge. But you won't really, because you need to still meet with people exactly like.
If you like to meet
I
with
mean,
people.
like, pulling the knowledge out of his head is huge. Is where if he puts it on his blog, I don't care anymore. I mean, it's more important to me to get.
Well, we had a related discussion about Web 2.0, right? You were there. How to get people to use the information that's out there in terms of feeds and blogs and everything else, but how do we get people to start consuming them more quickly than they are right now? How do we get people to get used to those information sources just as they're used to email? Is the question. So forums like these are really helpful, I guess. So from my part, I just wanted to say one more thing. I don't know about the events that these guys have. Thai Seattle has an event in July. They had an event called Mobile Content Monetization. How do you make sure, how do you monetize your content on a mobile network with the explosion of iPhones and Blackberries and all of that jazz? And it was a good, very huge event. UI Evolution and a couple of other big companies were involved in that. But the event that's coming up is the evolution of a leader. It's a member-only event, but it's an event where we interview one person who's been successful at turning a startup company around and making it a profitable organization. Zones.com is the company, and Feroz Lalji is the person. So it's a 1.5 hour interview of the person, ask questions, audience asks questions, and he answers them, and then he stays around for interested people to talk to him about things. So it's on July 18th, and the details are on the site. And that's basically it. If you guys have any other questions or comments, please feel free to say.
I guess with the NWEN, I've heard that if you go to any event, go to their pub nights. Because you go, you drink, you meet people, they have I think they let 4 people pitch their ideas to the group that's there, and they give feedback on it. And they'll pick 3 beforehand, they'll have one person that's selected beforehand based on people that give like a 60-second pitch
Okay.
about their idea. And so you get feedback that way, and then one of the things that they ask you to ask the audience is, what do you want from the audience that night? So if you need to hire someone in a specific place, if you need capital, if you need a lawyer, that's where to get it.
Okay. Is it a member-only thing, or?
It's, I think, I don't remember if it's member only or not, but I know I paid $20 for it.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
included
yeah.
two
Okay.
things, so.
So what is the event? What's the event again?
It's pub night. It's like
Pub night.
once a
Oh,
month
pub
or
night.
Once every
Right.
2 months.
Right. I guess NetIP also has that, except they have drinking. I don't know about the business plan part. But yeah, in terms of that, by the way, there are several, like I mentioned, there's meetup.com that has a bunch of folks meeting up on a regular basis. There's Bean, right? Bean is a Northwest specific organization that has a bunch of groups within it that'll meet up on a regular basis to talk about anything from how to plant trees correctly to how to start your own startup. Right? BEAN.org. Bean, it's either bean.org or you just search for Bean Seattle and you'll find it.
It's a good place if you're to just hang out with people. I don't feel like when you go there, I don't feel like it's very tech pitchy
It's
at
not.
all. It's more like just to kind of make friends and do fun things.
Yeah.
But
So they have a monthly.
You really meet a lot of people from there that you can.
Yeah.
You end up doing cool things.
Yeah. So in the space of one networking night, you'll meet a guy who owns his own airplane training company, and you'll meet the guy who owns the parlor at Bellevue, Lincoln Square, who's talking about his idea to make it into a nightclub. So I'm just saying, it's really interesting to get perspective into what people are trying to do out there. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if that's about it, thank you very much for attending.